What up, y'all? I know we've been telling y'all for a minute we gonna talk about movies, we gonna break down because we used to do this a whole lot in the podcast. We used to talk about TV shows, movies, and whatnot, but we just haven't had a whole lot of time. A lot of stuff been going down in the sports, in music world especially. So we ain't really had the time to break down these movies, TV shows like we really want to. So we're gonna do that right now. We brought in a special guest, Figgy's homeboy. I'm told he's a lot like me, which I assume means people call us haters, contrarians. I prefer the word critic. I think we are critics here on the podcast. You know, we look at things objectively. We're not fanboys for certain things. You look at things and judge it on the quality of its merit. That's how I like to frame it. And we have a very special guest joining us today, man. Figgy's homeboy. Terrell's in the building, man. And he's going to help us break some shit down.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's good to be with y'all. I haven't talked movies in a while. I used to have a movie podcast. I still want to produce movies. I'm planning my old short film. So this is my passion. I breathe, live movies. So it's cool to actually get to sit down, see what's going on, because quarantine changed the movie industry forever. And hey, I'm happy to finally sit down and talk about where we are, how we got here, and what's next for this industry, man, because it's crazy right now.
For sure. So were you a go to the theater every time type of guy, or were you wait till it hits streaming, wait till the DVD or Blu-ray copy come out on various legal means or whatever you want to use? How did you initially consume movies before the pandemic?
So let me tell you how crucial it got for me. So my brother, he came out of nowhere. I don't know where he found this thing, but he found the AMC app where you pay about $20 a month and they'll let you see 3 movies a week.
Okay.
So I was like, cool. But who would see that many movies? But before I knew it, I'm seeing movies I didn't even know I wanted to see. I need that experience in the movies. I need that big screen. I need a dark room. I need everybody in tuned. I need us all laughing at the same time. That whole synergy while you're watching a movie, all of that get addictive, especially when you're watching a blockbuster. So, you know, I just love the whole experience. So with that being said, I was finding any excuse to go to the movie theater when I can get in there free and get discounts on that expensive ass concession food. And it just became an addiction, man. So, but it didn't stop there, man. I still come home and start streaming. Netflix was because everything is different now. They were trying to compete with the big dogs in the theaters, and they were letting out a lot of quality content on Netflix. So, also big fan of streaming, a big fan of how streaming is trying to go to war with, you know, the bigger blockbusters. It's all making for very competitive and quality movies, man. So yeah, man, big fan of both, man. Both.
Man, I miss going to the movie theater, man. Just you mentioning the concession stand and the popcorn. I used to be the biggest critic on paying for that shit, but yeah, now I kind of miss it, man. I just miss getting that popcorn, getting that soda, just going to the movie, man. Hopefully we can do that soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what's crazy. A lot of people I talk to them, they're like, yeah, man, movie theaters are starting. I've been going back to the movies for about 4 months, like legit. And but you know, not until Mortal Kombat was the theaters really starting to get back crowded. You know what I'm saying? It felt a lot different. It felt a little eerie, but at the same time, once that room go dark, man, it's right back to that enjoyable experience every time.
Well, I guess I have to be the dissenting voice here, the hater, as you say.
Yeah,
but I have to disagree, man. I don't enjoy the movies like that, the movie theater at least. I think it's a very bloated experience. Every time I go, it gets worse every time I go, because I don't go a whole lot, but every time I go, it gets worse, man. Things are more expensive. Popcorn and drinks are more expensive every year, it seems. You get there, and the previews are fucking 30 minutes long now, man. Like, they never end. I feel like back in the day, these previews were not that long. You get there, and you're sitting and watching these endless previews, man. The movie don't even start till you might as well be 30 minutes late, but then if you're late, you might get a shitty seat, so you got to get there early and watch the bullshit previews, man.
Okay. So you over the experience. So you prefer this when you turn on the movie.
Look, I don't.
Wait, what is that? Is it in focus yet? Did they get the camcorder in focus?
Now,
That's the only thing that make the movies so competitive, because you're absolutely right, man. It's such an expensive experience, man, for just for a couple of hours, you know, especially if you want to get some food, man. But those camcorder copies, man.
Yeah, no, that was bad. That was a bad time. We only watched that after we saw the movie once and didn't want to pay to go see it again. Like when Star Wars came out, we want to see the lightsaber fights one more time, but we didn't want to go all the way to the theater and pay for the movie again, so we get the bootleg version.
Yeah.
I do like the streaming first day option, you know, because I have a decent setup at home. I'd much rather just sit at home, especially if it's not a movie I'm too excited about, like Godzilla vs. King Kong or something. Yeah. You know, I'm not necessarily going to rush out to the theater to watch that. But if it's sitting on my TV already first day when it comes out, I'm going to definitely watch it. You know, I have a decent sized screen, decent sized sound set up. So I'm not saying it's IMAX quality, but it's still enjoyable enough. So that's one thing I like.
Well, you got me there. It's nothing like that experience, man. Honestly, I enjoy that experience just as much too. And I to be honest, when I first heard what HBO Max was doing, I was terrified. I'm like, that's it. That's the deaf industry. You know, like now we gonna know just how amazing it is to watch a blockbuster on a release at home, and that's gonna be it. But then Mortal Kombat dropped, and I'm like, okay, cool. We're still going to the theaters. We still got a shot at this. But absolutely, you cannot beat an at-home experience, man. You could be at work tired. All you want to do is go home, and you got a blockbuster waiting on you in 4K. You know what I'm saying? Except that Justice League thing. I'm still kind of mad about what they did with the format. But at the same time, yeah, man. You got me there, Ryan. You can't beat the at-home experience. The only thing that can beat it is if you have that same passion for theater like some people have.
That's true.
I
feel you. I understand. I feel you. In some movies, like, for example, Infinity War, I had to go see that in the theater.
Yeah,
twice.
absolutely.
You have to see certain movies in the theater.
Absolutely.
Overall, I'm like, man, I like the option of being able to sit at home, too.
That was probably my best movie theater experience ever. Because just getting people reactions, because
at the end,
yes, when they start disappearing, spoiler alert if you ain't seen it, but once people start disappearing, we like, you start hearing what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh shit. And when the movie ended, like I'd never seen a super movie end like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the so everybody walking out the theater like, oh my God, like, huh?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a cliffhanger where it come on next week. You got to wait a fucking year for this shit.
Yeah.
So it was a year of thinking until we got the next one.
Yeah. Marvel was real calculated with that. That was we was falling in love with those characters over 10 years, and it was just like, nah, they just dropping off. It was just, how could it not get you? They had us, man. They had us.
And let's keep it there, because we're gonna talk about a show. I honestly hesitated. I just recently this week watched the entire show. I binged it in one run, pretty much. And I'll be honest, I was not looking forward to it. It was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I wasn't looking too much into it or forward to it, because I was never a huge fan of Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. So I was like, I got to watch a whole series with him and his bad acting and his annoying face. I was not really looking forward to it, but I did watch it and I thought it was enjoyable. But let's talk about that, man. First off, Terrell, I'm assuming you're a Marvel guy since you've already spoken a lot about it. What were your thoughts on the Falcon, aka Captain America, the new black? Spoiler alert: the Falcon becomes Captain America at the end. Yeah, and we have a black Captain America. Same thing happened in the comics a few years ago as well. So, yes, Captain America / Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show on Disney+. How'd you feel about it, man?
Yeah, so it's funny. This is actually on my slept on list. I feel like this should have got a little more love than it did. I didn't see a lot of people posting about it or reacting to it, but I thought that this was probably one of Marvel's most ambitious projects, because you're taking Captain America, and when you want to make him black, and we know the stakes that is there when you're doing something like that. And they let you know that in the show. And that's probably what kind of hurt the show, because they had to have the main villain take a back seat. You know, the main villain, the antagonist can drive the story. But in this case, she was kind of reacting to the story because she wasn't really the story. The story was really Anthony Mackie finally accepting the mantle of Captain America, because it's a colossal mantle. And it was very important for them to bring in, you know, the original Black Captain America, and to kind of set that precedent. Like, you know, this is not blonde hair, blue-eyed mantle. You know, this is whoever is worthy of it. And so that's that dynamic of seeing Anthony Mackie's character, Falcon, kind of accept that it's not about race. It's not about what you're ready to do or what you feel you're worthy of. It's just if you are worthy. And it's a lot like Namir in that way, where they had the Shield, in this case Captain America, kind of choose who is worthy, because we all know Bucky would make a great Captain America too. He'd be amazing. But it was just who Anthony Mackie was at his core. I love that they explored the relationship with him and his sister, how they struggled. They didn't get a lot of help, even with his reputation. So I was really impressed with the show overall. If I had to nitpick, you know, I'm an action buff. I think I'm a big Winter Soldier fan, especially after Captain America 2. Big Winter Soldier fan. I wanted to see more Winter Soldier, but every time Falcon was on the screen doing his thing, I was captivated. So it's like, okay, they kind of balancing it out a little bit, because his scenes was just so incredible. I mean, that first episode, that last episode, kind of blew my mind. Kind of lulled in between, but again, that's because it was all set up, man. They just really trying to set up the next step of Falcon being Captain America, and I think they did it masterfully, man. I don't know if I kind of rambled for a minute, but that's good. Big fan of the show, man.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good as well, man. Figgy, you saw it too. I want to get your thoughts first, because I will be nitpicky a little bit here, but overall, I did enjoy it. But Figgy, let's get your thoughts first, man.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I'm still trying to get used to watching Marvel TV shows because the way it's produced, the way it looked like a damn movie. And so I kind of, as soon as it ended, I'm kind of scratching my head like, damn, I forgot it was a damn series, a 1 hour series. But I thought it was cool. It was, to me, it was a lot of dry parts in the middle. But like you said, Terrell, I'm sure they probably just setting up, you know, Captain America, or setting up the whole thing. But I thought it was going to be a little more action. It was a lot of action in the first episode, and obviously the last episode. But I thought it was pretty cool. To me, Falcon, I don't really have a problem with Falcon. His faces are a little irritating, but yeah, some parts that stuck out to me. I cringed a lot during the police scene when like 18 police cars pulled up. It seemed like that's the one thing I'm kind of afraid of now in 2021 is shows like that trying to incorporate real shit, like Black Lives Matter and all that type of stuff. I don't want to see that in these type of movies. To me, it's just saying like they just trying to throw it in there to say, hey, we woke too. But outside of that, man, I thought it was a solid series, man. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good as well. I thought the first episode was really good. The second episode threw me off a little bit, and because that's when I started to see like the typical Marvel tropes come in. One problem I have with Marvel movies, and it's been, people have talked about this a lot, like they put comedy where it doesn't really fit sometimes. And I felt the second episode, okay, you can have Anthony Mackie, the Falcon, be this funny guy, but I feel like the Winter Soldier should have been the straight man. But he was kind of cracking jokes too, and it was going back and forth. And it's like, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy, this dynamic worked. It shouldn't be so jokey with them. Like, I get they're friends and they go back a little bit, but it felt a little forced at times. That scene where they're in therapy together, that was a little too far for me, man. I felt like I was watching a different show, you know, from the first episode to the second. Like, where the fuck did this come from? You know, 1 minute he's crying about people he killed, and now they're joking about being close, and it was weird. But it got better after that for me. I'm a comic book guy. I like the portrayal of John Walker. He's U.S. agent in the comics. I like that they put him in there. I like the job he did. People didn't like him, but I thought, they made him kind of likable towards the end, in my opinion.
I liked him.
My problem with the villain, and it's another problem with Marvel villains, they're getting better at making relatable villains. Like a good villain has to be somebody you at least sort of agree with. Some people think the Joker in Dark Knight had a point, even though he was crazy. People thought that Killmonger in Black Panther had a point, but the problem is they make him too evil at random times. Like Killmonger had a point, but he was going crazy, killing people and choking women out for no reason. They made him too cartoonishly villainous. And the same problem was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier with that girl. She was killing people, didn't care. She killed the black guy and said his life didn't matter. And I was like, oh, see, now she said a black life doesn't matter because so she's evil now. And I was like, oh. Things like that annoyed me. But overall, I did like it. I like the original Super Soldier, the black guy they had in there. I thought that was a good way to bridge the gap between, as black people, we look at it and we're like, okay, how's a black man going to be Captain America? This is a racist, slave-owning country in its history. How's a black man going to represent that? But they answered that with his character. He brought up all the issues we have with the black man being Captain America. And I like that they did that. That was a good touch. Action scenes weren't as good as the movies, I feel. The last episode was pretty good action-wise. I like what he did with the shield. And it sold me on, okay, he's Captain America now. Because he's doing cool shit, flying around with the shield, throwing it, getting it back, going through shit. It was cool. It sold me on the character. Few corny moments, few moments you cringe at. His speech at the end was kind of
way too long, man.
Yeah, man. Like who just sits around and lets somebody talk for 4 minutes straight like that, man? It was a little bit. They poured on a little bit thick there, but overall, I did enjoy it. I thought it was a pretty good show. So yeah, man, I think we're all in agreement. Ultimately, it was a good show. I think it was kind of slept on too. I didn't see a whole lot of hype for it online. It's outside of Black Twitter at least, but I thought it was pretty good, man, honestly. So
how did y'all feel about that scene where the who was it, the fake Captain America, the all-brand Captain America everybody kept talking about?
Yeah, John Walker.
When he he took the shield and killed somebody with it pretty much.
Yeah, I like that.
I kind of like that scene too. I'm like, damn, that kind of stuff. I'm like, damn, I kind of like this new Captain America.
Well, that's what I liked about it though, because Captain America, he kills too. We've seen it. But this he was unapologetic and he did it in public. He did that with the American flag, on him. So with that PR, it was like, oh wow, you kind of crossed over, and he differentiated himself from Captain America, which was very necessary, and he was dying to do it. He's not the same as Steve Rogers, but I like that. I think the show needed that badly.
Yeah, I was watching that part with my wife, and she was like terrified, and I'm sitting there like, damn, I kind of like this. I like this for some reason. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah. I'll tell you why, because he was the realest character, dog. He rode for the dead homie, man.
Yeah.
Nobody else did. They're like, how could you kill him? Like, dog, you see that this black man just died and nobody did shit? Y'all let these motherfuckers go? Yeah. Like, nah, one of y'all got to die too, man. Yeah. I felt that. He went to his family, made amends with, like, he was holding it down for the dead homie, man. Yep. Nobody else was. They forgot about him.
Yeah, that scene where he talked to his family was just seamless. You felt like it was right, you didn't feel any animosity towards him, and I think that's why he's going to continue to be a character that affects the Marvel universe. I'm excited to see where they go from here. Honestly, I love what they set up. I can't wait to see how it plays into Loki, into Black Widow. It's just, I'm a Marvel head. I'm trying not to geek. It's about to happen.
No, Loki's going to be really good because the actor who plays him is really good. So I already know it's going to be fire.
Yeah,
I'll admit I didn't see WandaVision, but I know you guys did. Is that worth seeing, man? Be honest. Like, is that worth going back after Falcon and Winter Soldier? Is that worth going back to watch?
I'm gonna tell you the most confusing thing you've ever heard. And this isn't gonna be the first thing. It's another show. I'm gonna tell you something very confusing. But WandaVision, I feel, is one of the greatest TV shows ever made. So with that being said, it's a must watch if you've ever watched TV in a different decade. It's just amazing what Disney is doing while telling you a story about grief. It's like you guys are really thinking of this stuff. Like this is happening. So but story wise, like it's kind of average because Wanda, we're now seeing just how strong she is, where it's like a god level strong. Whereas it's like up there with Professor X, you know, where like, look, she has to get her emotions under control or we're all in danger. So I feel like, again, you know, these shows they're just setting up these blockbuster movies. And when we see these movies, after seeing these shows with the things that they establish and set up, it's just going to be that much more captivating and powerful. So if you are into Marvel at all, it's definitely worth watching WandaVision. Absolutely. Especially if you can binge it. I wish I could binge it. Oh my God. Oh man.
Yeah, I agree. Right. I think like you said, if you did watch TV shows in different decades, I do think that part was cool. I was a little confused on the first episode because I'm like, damn.
I was confused the first 4 episodes, Vic.
Yeah, because I'm like, damn, is this I Love Lucy?
Yeah. It was for a minute.
Yeah, I was so confused. And I'm like, damn, this, and then I was kind of pissed that it was 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so like,
right?
Yeah, so I'm like, damn, what the so the next week I'm expecting I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And now it's fucking Laverne and Shirley. I forgot what show it was, but it was a 70s show.
Yeah, and every week you felt relief, like, okay, we moving towards the truth, you know. So you just look, man. I would watch it with people, and as soon as it, you know, please stand by, everybody lost their shit, like, oh come on, like, because it would get that captivating, just that addictive, man. But honestly, I enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier more because I just like that streamlined story. But at the same time, ambitiously, production wise, writing wise, I swear to God, WandaVision is one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll check it out. Now, I was a fan of that show Legion. I don't know if you saw that Legion on FX. Did you see that? And did it compare to that at all? Was it just completely different, or was that kind of similar?
I didn't watch Legion, but based on what I know about Legion, it is different. But It's funny how you say that. The X-Men universe does play a role in WandaVision.
Okay.
Slightly.
Yeah, I recommend watching Legion, man. It's not too long. It was a pretty good show.
Okay.
It's on Hulu if you have that as well. So
yeah, I just got a bias against TNT, but I trust a good source. Yeah, Legion came on TNT, right?
No, I came on FX.
Oh, FX. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. I like FX.
Yeah, I recommend it. Check it out, man. And now we got to talk about a recent movie. We talked about it a little bit earlier. You talked about the movie that brought back theaters, kind of. Mortal Kombat, the new 2021 version. And me and Figgy kind of talked about it. I didn't go into too much depth because we didn't have too much time and I didn't have time to break it down, but now we do. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Thank you.
I thought it was trash in a lot of ways. There were some good ideas. There was a good concept there, but I thought ultimately it was just completely underwhelming. And I feel like they had the money to do something, but the script, the scene, like it just didn't work. But what were your thoughts, man? We'll get to you first because we haven't heard how you feel about it. So what were your thoughts?
Hated it. So that's the thing. So I'm at a point where I take a second, I step back and I'm like, okay, how can I like this movie? How can I like say something nice about this movie? But they messed with the lore. They messed that up. They messed up with casting. They messed up with the script. They had James Wan as a producer on this thing and couldn't figure out how to navigate the waters of this. And it's just like, how could somebody as good as him not be able to figure out how to make this script work? I feel like they should have took maybe another 6 months or so to work on this thing. I really didn't like it. I constantly refer to this. Excuse me. I constantly refer to this Warner Brothers production. It was an animated version of basically Mortal Kombat it's called Scorpion Revenge, Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion Revenge. So how it opened, they were opening with the same character arc. I'm like, okay, like we about to do this, like, because Scorpion Revenge was just mind blowing. So I'm just like, okay, I don't care if they kind of deviate from that, that's fine. But if they go according to that, they'll be fine. And when they gave me that 7 minutes they put on YouTube, that was the closest I got to the Scorpion's revenge arc, that was the beginning of my rage kind of kicking in. Thank God for the guy who played Kano. He kind of carried the second act of the movie. So thank God for him. But changing Jax's lore, where it's like, when did Sub-Zero rip off his arms? And that's and I know that seems like a pet peeve, but it's like everybody's like, oh, this appeased the Mortal Kombat fans and this appeased the movie fans. No, it didn't. It didn't appease either of them, because with the Mortal Kombat fans, you portray the lore, and with the movie fans, you portray the script, where it's just incohesive. It's incohesive, and it's a Mortal Kombat tournament with no tournament.
Yeah,
you know,
one of the biggest problems with the movie.
Yeah, and to not go more into the depths of not the depths, but the motivations of Shang Tsung, and kind of making Raiden kind of irrelevant. It's just how many ways can you mess up? And then you say, I'm really going off on the story part, but then you say, at the end, Shang Tsung is just like, take backs. Like, he's just like, nothing mattered. It's all good. We're coming back for the sequel. But Kung Lao really died.
Yeah.
Who's gonna bring Kung Lao back? He's a very big part of Earth's defense. You know, him and the Shaolin monks, they play a big role in that. So they stumped on that. So it's just like, you constantly betraying the lore, and the story doesn't make sense. It's not fulfilling. You bring in a character nobody asked for, wanted, and won't download as a DLC character. So what exactly were we going for? So I just walked away furious. I'm a fan. I went to the theater. I went to the theater to see this thing because I wanted to feel the energy, and I just left heartbroken. I was heartbroken, man. I agree with the critics. The critics gave it, I think the critics got it at about a 54%. I'm with the critics, but the audience is like 88%.
No, they loved it, man.
Like, yeah, they loving it, man. I'm just like, and it just had me, I had to accept. I didn't accept this when I had my podcast. I was constantly going to war with people, but it's like, at the end of the day, a lot of the casual fans, they don't watch movies for story. They just want noise and lights. They want to be entertained. They don't want to think about their problems. If you can pull that off for an hour and a half to 2 hours, they're satisfied. So I'm just like, my hands.
Yeah, I kept seeing people saying how, oh, it gave us action, so why y'all mad about it? And you know, me, when I watched the movie, mind you, I ain't played Mortal Kombat in like 25 years. The last time I played it was on the damn Sega Genesis.
Right.
So I knew maybe like 5 characters.
Okay.
So well, I'm thinking like, all right, you know, usually when you watch a movie, you can follow what's going on if they tell the story right.
Right.
But I was so lost. I'm like, damn, I paused it a little. I'm like, should I be looking up these characters? I'm like, who the hell is this? Like, I don't know who this is. I knew Jack, what's his name? Jax. I knew who he was because he was pretty much the only black dude on there like that. It was a couple other characters. I'm like, who is this guy?
Probably Sonya, but what they did to Reptile made him. Why'd they do that to Reptile? He's a humanoid, man. He's a ninja. What are we doing?
Yeah, so yeah, the part I hated about the movie too is when a new character appear, and then I'm looking like, damn, who is that? And then they make it super obvious, like, oh, wait, is that Liu Kang? They just make it super obvious. Hey, what's your name? They just make it super obvious. It's like, man, like maybe this movie wasn't for me because like I said, I'm not familiar with the characters. I ain't gonna sit there in front. But I was totally lost in this movie. So at that point, I'm checked out. I'm just watching for the action at this point.
Yeah. And I did see a lot of people defend this movie. And the reasoning was usually the same thing. And this is something I really got annoyed by. People were saying it was a good movie. It gave us fights and things you wanted. It was bloody. Y'all just stuck on the 1995 movie, and y'all just hate that it didn't remind you. It didn't give you the same feeling you were when you were 10 years old watching Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was always dumb. The first movie was always stupid. There are some fair points in there, okay? The first movie is not great cinema. Okay, you go back and watch it, you'll be it's not an awful movie. It's very 90s charming.
It's the 90s.
But there are some parts that you're going to cringe at. The acting was not all great. And the plot didn't make sense in a lot of places. Even if you were big into Mortal, like I'm big into Mortal Kombat 2, I can tell you are too. I played the games, I know the story, and even back then the story ain't make sense. Like Scorpion and Sub-Zero on the same team. Reptiles is a actual lizard that goes into a statue and becomes the human reptile. Okay,
yeah,
there's a lot of weird stuff in the first movie too, man. But it kept the core of what the story was supposed to be, because the story lends itself very well to a movie.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to an island to fight, and whoever loses control of, like, it's for the Earth, basically.
Yeah.
If you lose the Earth. So they got to win the tournament. This one, it seemed like there were two heads button, I feel. I feel like there were people who knew and respected the story of the game. And I feel like there were Hollywood people that came in and said, nah, y'all got to change it up for today's audience. We can't just have these characters from the games. You got to have a new character, and he has to have a relatable story. He got to have a wife and kids. He got to have something to fight for. We got to send them on a journey like it's a fucking Marvel movie to go find some shit. They got to awaken these powers, because that's the character arc. You know, they have to awaken the powers on their own this time. They can't just have them. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of Hollywood cliche bullshit they fed into the movie. And I think that's what made it bad. The character, the new guy, the main character was, nigga, we have Sub-Zero and Scorpion is who we came to see, dog. And you set up that whole entire first part of the movie and then don't even dress it until the very end.
And give us no reason. No reason. He's back.
It made no sense. And then, like, they tried to keep the story of the game like, okay, there's a tournament. But they said, well, it's legal for you to just go and murk somebody outside the tournament. So what the fuck is the point of a tournament if you can just kill and assassinate and shoot whoever before the shit starts? Yeah. Why even have a tournament? Just have a free-for-all on Earth. Don't call it a tournament. But they called it a tournament, but it never fucking happened because niggas just rolled up on people and killed them.
And then Rayton was like, I don't intervene. Like, there's your go. It's time to intervene. The elder god is cheating. It's time to intervene, Rayton. I can tell you the problem with that movie in one article. So there's an article that the actor who played Sub-Zero has signed on for 5 more movies.
Oh my God.
They wrote this movie for sequels, and that's the worst thing you can do with a movie. If you have a good movie, nobody even wants a sequel. So to write them 4 sequels, it's going to bring us here. But I think eventually the audience is going to catch on like, okay, this is bad. It might take another movie. But I guarantee you that next movie will not be 88% by the audience, because we're so starved for something good, man. Quarantine really hit us hard. Quarantine took Black Widow. Quarantine took 007. Mm-hmm. So Quarantine took some big productions, and we're just starving for something. And we got something that besides Godzilla and King Kong, which a lot of people can't relate to, only really those legacy fans can, but it took that from us, and we're just starving. So, you know, Mortal Kombat, it just feels like a blockbuster. Like the shots are amazing, everything is master class, and it's just like, okay, we seen a good movie, this is good. And it's like, no, man, you got duped again.
Yes.
It's crazy.
And that's the thing, like, because people say, well, like, I'm not even mad. I'm a Mortal Kombat fan. I like the story, like I said, but I'm not even mad that it didn't follow the story. I'm just mad it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a good story.
I would be okay if they remixed the whole thing and if things were inaccurate to the game, but they made sense for the movie. Yeah. I'll be fine with that. Like, switch it up and remix it if you got to. You only got an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So do whatever you have to, but they try to do both at the same time. They tried to keep the old school fans happy and the new school Hollywood Marvel fans happy. And it was just a terrible mix, man. It was bad.
Yeah, I agree.
It was bad. So I think we're all in agreement that the new Mortal Kombat is ass.
Yeah.
I would not recommend it. So other movies that came out recently. I haven't seen this yet. I've heard bad things about it, and that's why. But I know you and Figgy have watched it, I believe. Some HBO Max DC movies, man. DC's doing a big thing with HBO Max. Movies are coming out. And the first one was Wonder Woman 1984, a movie that was supposed to come out way earlier. Pandemic pushed it back. They announced it was going to be on HBO Max. It came out. I heard some very bad things about it. I heard it was not very good. Terrell, what you think about it, man? What were your thoughts on it?
I liked it.
Oh no.
I liked it, man. Okay. So a lot of what Hollywood is trying to do, but it's a little too risky, is they're trying to get even deeper into the psyche of characters and really try to show the depth. So if we think about like the height of macho movies in the 80s, you know, there was never any exploration of emotional depth. So that's what they were going for in Wonder Woman 1984. And then you have a female lead on top of that. So you can go ahead and you can slash the demographic that's going to be drawn to that. You can just slash it, you know, they're gone. You know, specifically white males. Like at that point, they're going to hate that movie because who wants that? But for her to really be dealing with the grief and realizing, we're going back to mantles here, but her realizing what being Princess Diana and what, you know, rebelling against the Amazons to defend the world of man, what it cost her, and for her to accept that cost. I think that was a powerful character arc, man. But people have problems with other aspects of it, like Cheetah. But I think in this one, the villain wasn't really that important, honestly. Especially with DC, when you have these godlike villains being set up, the stakes is just going to be way bigger. You know, Darkseid is going to be back. You know, we're not worried about Cheetah. Cheetah was just another part. You know, that was exploring the vanity that was going on in the 80s and how that affected Princess Diana and her fight with, you know, moving on. I think that when you talk about concepts like this, you betray your audience when you talk about a comic book film that's going off tropes and, you know, all of these cliches and all of that stuff just to get you to the next action sequence. And for, you know, at the end, when it's like, oh, all of this action and it all added up to you giving a speech, you know, people hate that. So you're constantly betraying them to explore this emotion, and you have a female director, you know, so you just kind of see how it's setting up for most people to hate this and not really take it for what it's trying to do. And I think that's unfortunate because Hollywood is going to step back. They're gonna be like, okay, that didn't work. We're done with that. Like now we're just going to have, you know, Wonder Woman be macho, you know, she's just going to be beating everybody up now because we tried 1984, it didn't work. So I really like the things that they were trying to go for. And I really liked Wishmaster. I thought that was like a very cool idea because at that point you confronting, you know, temptation and how powerful that can be and how temptation is a super villain in itself. Look what it does to us on a day-to-day basis. So I feel like what hurt the movie is trying to explore that depth in a time in quarantine where that's the last thing we want. We want to see monsters. We want to see demonic ninjas. We want to see that. So I think that's what hurt the movie because story-wise, I thought that like it made sense, except for, you know, them just being able to, you know, fire up a plane from you know, 1970 that was there just on a display, but you know, whatever, plot holes are going to be there. But I really didn't think that it was that bad of a movie. I thought it was a good movie, but hey, they got a little over ambitious. I'll be honest about that.
Okay.
All right, let me ask you this: How do you feel about the woman? I don't know her real name, but the woman that played Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
How do you feel about her acting?
He's a horrible actor. But that's what's best about it because you get to kind of ground her in some action scenes, but some of the action scenes are a little sloppy too. But you get to kind of ground her in action scenes and you know, kind of mask it, and she's very, very, very fun to look at. So you know, you got enough to get you through.
Yeah, I just hate seeing her run. The scenes whenever she run. It's just, I'm like, man, something don't look right. And I'm not like a snob when it comes to production and stuff like this. But I'm like, man, this looks so awkward seeing her run in the middle of the street like that.
Hollywood is just behind on that. I don't like seeing the Flash run, man. It's awful. It's just, Hollywood just it's the next thing that we need to figure out is how to make running really fast look realistic. They suffer every time.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about it because when I first saw Batman vs Superman, I liked Gal Gadot, however you say her name. Yeah. I liked her Wonder Woman character there, but I guess because you didn't see her a whole lot, so she was kind of mysterious and cool, and she came out whooping ass, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. But then, her acting is lacking. I don't like the fact, because I'm a DC guy too, I don't like the fact that she didn't really put on any muscle, it seemed like, for the role. She's very skinny. I mean, she's queen, basically the most badass warrior Amazon out there. Like, she should be a little more buff. Like, these women, and that's a main problem with me and these female heroes in these superhero movies. They're not believable. I'm not saying you got to be on TRT and HGH and be super, like, because some of these dudes, you can tell they're taking HGH and steroids and stuff. I ain't saying they got to do that, but you can lift a dumbbell, man. Like Scarlett Johansson, I just can't buy her beating every man in the room's ass. Skinny as she is, little as she is. Same thing with Wonder Woman. One thing I like about that new Thor movie, I've seen some pictures. It looks like Natalie Portman's bulking up. It looks like she's putting on some muscle. She's supposed to be the next Thor, basically, or something. But it looks like they're preparing her for that role. But everybody else, I'm like, nah, y'all gotta do a little training too. Y'all can't just be doing cardio and coming as a superhero, man. Y'all gotta put on a little bit of muscle, man. Do something.
Flat stomach is all you need to throw around 400-pound, man. That's all you need.
I mean, just do a little something. Make it a little more believable for me, man. I know it's a superhero movie, but I want to believe, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about this other movie, the Amazon Prime movie. With,
that elephant in the room.
Yes, the new Denzel / Will Smith, according to Figgy's Facebook friend.
I was expecting a different movie. Wait a minute. Okay,
I was talking. I'm going with a movie Figgy saw and told me was ass, so I didn't see it yet. But I don't know
Figgy, I see you.
Yeah, it is called.
Without Remorse.
Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, what a mess.
Oh, it was bad.
Oh, it's a mess. But this is the thing. Tom Clancy doesn't make good movies. Tom Clancy books just don't translate well. When you're talking about spy stuff, that's like information overload. It's a war of information. So if you try to condense these books and into movies, it just doesn't work. You had Patriot Games, you had Hunt for Red October, you had some where they could pull it off, but for the most part it's lacking. And in this one, man, I don't know why they wanted Michael B. Jordan to bring the acting caliber of Gal Gadot. I don't understand why they made him so dry, but it just didn't work. And you could say like, oh, he lost his family, but he was like that when his family was alive. And it was just, you could never buy into him. And they went big on him, man. He got so much screen time in that movie. And it just never brought you in. You never really rooted for him, man. And it was really his story. That was probably where they messed up the most, but that movie wasn't good.
It was so bad. I ain't know what was going on. I'm expecting. I ain't gonna lie. I'm expecting to see some action because the preview, they got him setting the car on fire, jumping in the car.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm like, huh? I'm like, oh shit. Okay, he about to be on some Denzel type action.
Yeah.
That was probably the most action in the movie was him setting the car on fire, and that kind of didn't look realistic to me. I know it's an action movie, it's all type of stuff that's not real, but him walking out of a burning car.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, huh?
Yeah. So, I didn't like any of the characters, man. I didn't buy into any of them. They didn't set up enough for me to mistrust anybody like they wanted me to. I just never was able to walk where they wanted me to with this movie. I could never invest. So it's like even when the action would come, I was underwhelmed. It was just like, okay, all right, y'all pinned down. Y'all gonna die. You're probably not gonna die. After a while, you're just waiting for the movie to end because it's no stakes, man. It's no stakes. They don't set up a lot. You're supposed to care about his family because it's Nipsey Hussle's wife or whatever. But I just couldn't never buy into it. I could never buy into it, man.
Now that you mention that, I feel like they made that movie for women.
Possibly.
Because Michael B. Jordan got a lot of screen time, and women love Lauren London.
Yep.
Because I don't even think she played in anything as a recent.
I was so surprised to see her, man.
Yeah, so that's like two reasons to support that movie.
You right? You gonna do that for me, bae? Yeah, you right.
Long live Nip.
You gonna go into a burning car for me? Somebody kill me, bae.
Not to bring it up, that I do think that's probably the case. I didn't know Lauren London was in it, But if Lauren London and Michael B. Jordan are in the movie, yeah, that's definitely probably made for women, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fantasy couple right there, man.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So let's be real about Michael B. Jordan real quick too, because I feel like he is getting the next push to be the next big Hollywood star. We see it. He was named Time Magazine's sexiest man alive. He's getting these starring roles now. He's in a highly publicized relationship with Steve Harvey's daughter. And it seems like I could see a push when I see one. I know a push when I see the signs of one. And I think he is getting the push to be the next big Hollywood star. What do y'all think about his acting? Do y'all think it's there yet? Do you think he needs to improve, or do you think he's already solidified as one of the greats in the game right now?
We can just be honest. So if you had taken, Michael B. Jordan's body and you put Chadwick Boseman's talent in there, he deserved the push. Yes. So that's really his big issue, is the talent just isn't there. Some people they succeed off ambition. They're like, look, I'm gonna succeed, and I'm succeeding. That's just how some people do it, and that's honestly how he's doing it. He just doesn't have it. If you were to tell me, hey, I need you to play an iconic figure, Michael B. Jordan, who's he gonna play? Who's he gonna play? Michael B. Jordan, I need you to play a distraught lawyer whose wife is cheating on him. Is he gonna help you buy into that? Does he have the range? Then that's what's funny, because we were talking about Anthony Mackie earlier, and how sometimes you're just out of it with his scenes, and honestly that's mostly because of editing. But when it comes to acting, Anthony Mackie is a student of Juilliard. He's like polished when it comes to it, and you can see his range is just so much further. So if Michael B. Jordan could maybe go to acting school. I know this is crazy, I can't believe I'm saying this about somebody at his caliber, but yeah, man, I think that I don't think the push is going to happen, because honestly, I was talking about the casual fan earlier, but there is one thing that every casual fan can see through from a human element. That's bad acting.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because when I seen that post that saying Michael B. Jordan's up there with Will and Denzel,
yeah,
I was like, hold up. Look, I'm not a Michael B. Jordan hater, but I'm like, nah, to me, it's first of all, it's way too early, because I feel like that's discrediting Will Smith and Denzel, who've been putting in work to get to where they are.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. To me, whenever you talk about Will Smith, I know some people feel a certain type of way about his acting, but you can at least point to a movie that, like, damn, Ali,
he has iconic performances.
Yes, and he got other movies that was like iconic.
Yeah.
Denzel, you could point to the iconic movies. Yeah. You could say, "Damn, Malcolm X, he did his thing," or Training Day. You could point to those movies. What movies are we pointing to when it comes to Michael B. Jordan?
Black America is this thirsty for an icon, man.
Yes,
we need one this bad.
Yeah, I'm just like, damn, like my man ain't. To me, I don't think he got a classic movie. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody, I was kind of going back and forth with somebody, and they said, "What's the movie? Fruitvale?"
Fruitvale Station. Yeah.
Yeah, I never seen that movie. I got to kind of prepare to watch that movie, but I just think he got to have that for sure classic where you say, "Damn, that was his coming out party right there."
Yeah, Fruitvale Station wasn't a career definer. It's a career maker, but it's not a career definer. I don't think he had that. The closest he had to that was the first Creed, and then, but even then, he wasn't showing a lot of range acting. He was just being an angry black dude.
And I honestly don't count that either, because that was sold as a Rocky movie, man. Let's be real. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone was in it. Like, people went to go see it because it was basically Rocky 6 or 7 or whatever they were up to now. So, yeah, I have a tough time giving that to him.
That's true. So no, that push isn't gonna happen, man. All right, I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. We gotta do this.
Let's do it. Wait, is the elephant in the room the Snyder cut or the other movie?
It is.
It's definitely the other movie that was on Amazon Prime.
Okay, wait. Is it on the list? Are we talking about?
Is it Coming to America?
It's Coming to America.
Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot. We actually talked about this at length.
Man,
okay, we can make it short and sweet. I don't got that many good things.
Let's do
it. I want to hear what you got to say about it, because we tore this movie apart.
Okay, we did not like this movie. But okay, good. I want to know what you think.
All right. Well, okay. So since y'all both talked about it, I'll try to. So first off, I don't even know how much I remember. I really tried to block that movie out of my memory. So I was very disappointed, man. So the writer on here, I don't know if y'all ever watched it, but I feel like a lot of black people just aren't like ready for him. But one of the writers on this movie, Kenya Barris, he writes on this show on Netflix called Black AF, and I think the dude is brilliant, man. I think the dude is brilliant. And I was like, okay, like if he's behind the scenes on this, then maybe they can give us something. But I forgot how corny Eddie Murphy was. Now I know this is blasphemy. I'm not saying I'm not saying he's a corny comedian, but his corny worked so much better in the 80s. It was insane how much better in the 80s. And I honestly feel like if this same movie came out in the 80s, I would like it a little bit better. But it's just he didn't evolve with the times. And when he tried, he pandered to the times. And he did bad casting. And it's crazy how you can cast yourself 5 times and still manage to mess up the casting. I don't know how this is possible, but too many callbacks. Why do we need callbacks at this point? Coming to America is one of the greatest movies ever made. Everybody who likes movies has seen it. Why do we still need callbacks? And I don't know what they did with James Earl Jones. I'm about to start ranting. I don't want to rant.
It's all good.
Oh, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Because I actually like James Earl Jones in the movie. I thought he was in and out. He didn't even leave the bed. But he did a decent performance, and it was good seeing him because I don't think he's going to be here much longer. So
I checked out at the funeral gaff. At the funeral gaff, I checked out with him. I'm like, what'd y'all do this character, man? In the first one, he made so much more sense. But in this one, he was like satire of his own character. And I'm like, stop doing this, Eddie Murphy. Like, just you can introduce the new generations to these characters, and then go from there, man. But so I think I dislike movies more when they're kind of getting the same critical praise like Mortal Kombat got, like this got, where people were trying to find a way to like it. And so I don't know. It changed it because now that I know you guys already, you had your say about it. Yeah, I'd like to just know how y'all feeling about it, because I could really go on and on. I really got to stop myself. I got more stuff I want to talk about. Yeah, I gotta stop myself.
First of all, I feel like the movie shouldn't have been made. I don't think nobody was asking for Coming to America too. But as far as the movie, to me, it was kind of the people they had played in the movie was kind of pointless. Like why do we see why is Morgan Freeman in the movie?
Right, exactly.
It was way too many cameos. Dikembe Mutombo was in the movie randomly. It was Rick Ross, and I understand why he's in the movie. They was using his house, so they probably gave him a one. Yeah. But it was, to me, it was too much. It seemed like I was watching a Disney movie. Yeah. This was like Girl Meets World. Yeah. Not Boy Meets World. Yeah. And some other things. The one thing I did like, I like Wesley Snipes in it. I felt like he kind of did a good job. I kind of miss seeing him in movies. I felt like he did a pretty good job. But what else about that movie that pissed me off?
No, we can go on and on. I really had to just be like, okay, Terrell.
The main thing that pissed me off is people get mad at the people who don't like the movie, talking about, oh yeah, it's black excellence. And y'all say, I'm like, man, I don't give a damn about black excellence. We was just praising Judith and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
Nobody shitted on that movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about no black excellence just because there's a bunch of black people in this movie.
We always lower the bar for ourselves, and that's the problem. Because as a black creator, I'm like, shit, I just got to get it out there. Mm-hmm. I get it out. What did the quality matter? If I get it out there, that's ambition. That's black excellence, and the standards should be higher, man. Let's challenge each other.
I agree 100%. And one thing I did disagree that Figgy said is he said that nobody asked for this. We didn't ask for this, but plenty of people did ask for this. And this is the fucking problem with nostalgic culture, man. We are in a nostalgic culture era. And I blame all these reboots. I blame all these remakes because now anytime a clip goes viral on social media, somebody says, oh, they should bring that back. Oh, Moesha clip. No, they should make a reboot of Moesha. Full House clip. Oh, they should make a reboot of Full House. And they actually are making a reboot of Moesha, I heard. Which is fucking
really?
Yeah, I know, and it's ridiculous. So every time one of these clips goes viral, a ton of people say we should bring that back. We should reboot that. We should remake that. And they do because studios see this and they say, hey, there's money. Let's throw a little bit of a budget, not so much that we'll lose a lot, but if it's a hit, we'll make a lot of money off it. And that's what happened here. They clearly spent no money on a script or writing or anything.
Yeah.
They said, hey, let's just get a bunch of cameos.
Yeah.
And let's just make this bullshit.
And they shot it at Tyler Perry Studios.
Yes.
So I think, and like I said, I'm not the production snob, but I could tell when it's shot at his house or his studios.
His warehouse.
It looks so cheesy, man. It didn't look real. The whole what was the lion thing?
That was awful.
Oh, it was bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was goofy. I thought I was watching the Disney movie at that point. I'm like, what's going on? And then you got Eddie Murphy saying on fleek and all this shit. I'm like, damn, did y'all shoot this movie in 2016? Yeah. This shit was bad, man. This shit was awful. And the funny part about it, I can't remember if you told me, Ryan, or somebody mentioned it, but the movie is called Coming to America. And it was in America for like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole time in Zamunda.
It should have been Coming to Zamunda.
Yeah, I thought they was gonna be in Queens for a little bit. I thought they was gonna be, there for a minute.
Yeah, Queens made a cameo.
Yeah, they went up there for like 10 minutes, and that was it.
Yeah,
it was. I was so pissed, and I wasn't really. And the thing is, I wasn't even expecting nothing good from this movie. I was just like, you know what? Let me just check it out. It is what it is. It's here, but it was even worse than I thought.
Yeah. Lowered the bar. It still didn't help.
Yeah, and this is how you know the movie what was bad wasn't even funny. My wife laughed at anything. she laughed at anything. She did not crack a laugh the whole time to the point I thought she was asleep.
Yeah,
she watched the whole thing. Like I chuckled the one scene I chuckled was when Rick Ross said something in an African accent.
Yeah,
so I was just like, damn, okay, he got one line.
The unintentionally funny part was funny.
Yes.
They got me a couple of times, but I was just so mad at the script. I couldn't forgive them still.
The other thing that irritated me a little bit, I'm not a fan of Leslie Jones. I'm not, man. To me, she wasn't funny. It seemed like she was doing too. I hate the typical ghetto black girl that, not her, but the character she was playing. Just that ghetto black person.
That's all she ever plays too. That's her whole character.
The loud mouth. I'm just like, man, we didn't need her in it. I ain't really care for what's his name, Tracy Morgan in this either.
Yeah.
It was too much. It was trying to be too fun. To me, it was kind of. I don't want to compare it to Next Friday, but it was just too many jokes. The too many fart noises. Yeah. That's not really funny. And when you watch the original Coming to America, it wasn't, to me, they wasn't forcing anything. It was just a little small shit that wasn't supposed to be funny. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And I just had a problem with this whole movie, man. And I feel like the people that liked it never seen the first one.
Yeah, I think they didn't care. I think a lot of people, they don't care. And it's like, and that's what sucks, right? When they call us haters, sometimes you getting called a hater because you care. Mm-hmm. You cared enough to pay attention, to follow the story, to respect the writers, respect the director, respect the fucking marketing team for spending millions of dollars so you can know about this and go see it when it comes out. And then they cheat you, and they cheat everyone, but people find a way to accept it. And it's kind of making me worry about the future of black film, where if you're black, is that enough? Because I watched another show on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Did y'all get a chance to check out Them?
Yes, I seen that.
I heard it's really bad. I've heard awful things about it.
Like, is this what we've come to? Like, if you just be like, oops, a racism, we all come running and give our money up? Is this how we work? And I'm just really starting to get nervous for the future of film. But this Them thing is terrible. And then it's an anthology series. So the next season, they're gonna spin it off into a different family. And it's like, we gotta start this nonsense from the beginning, because the one thing Them had going for us was incredible acting. But that was pretty much it. And now that's just gonna get taken away. And we gotta just go back to this nonsensical story where people are putting social and political commentary over cohesive storytelling, and it's just the crime that's very hard to forgive. But the one thing I can say about Them is it didn't fool as many people as Coming to America. It didn't get the same reviews. I talked to a lot of people who hated it, so thank God, man, because I'm really just starting to worry. What are these executives looking for, these Jewish executives looking for, when a black man pitches something to them? Because our standard is just getting lower and lower, man. I worry about it. I do.
Yeah, I had a problem with that show for the simple fact that we've been dealing with all this racist shit for the past 2 years straight.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing shows like this, man. It was really uncomfortable. I stopped it for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I can't do this because it was setting my whole mood bad, man. It didn't start getting good until like the last 2 episodes, but it was just so uncomfortable. I don't want to hear all these negative words, and the scene that really got me, I ended up going back to it, and it wasn't that bad. But when the little girl was at school and the white girl like, hey, yeah, come with us, let's go to the basement. And I'm just like, oh shit, like, nah, I don't need to see her getting harassed or raped or some shit like that. My mind not set up for that right now, man. I feel like that's all they put out at this point.
Yeah,
and like, damn, it wasn't nothing to me. It wasn't no really big spin to it.
Yeah, it's kind of fetishy to me. Like, I feel like, what would a white director want to be in this time for? They like, oh, it's a period piece. Why do you want to live in this period? And they're not done with us. They're not done with us. Fig, yesterday, Underground Railroad drop. Like, is this never gonna end? Is this never gonna end? Are y'all constantly gonna be like, well, what wasn't this an interesting time? Like, no, it wasn't. I don't need to constantly see these stories. I need to see stories about current Black leaders emerging, because we don't have any. We got athletes, but come on, like, they're not studying politics. I just don't know. I don't know about the future, man. I need something different than what we're constantly getting offered. And hopefully we'll speak by not watching, but I doubt that'll happen, man. I feel like somebody's watching it,
Do you feel like people are trying to imitate the Jordan Peele formula?
Absolutely.
Because when I first seen the preview for the trailer for Them, I thought it was a spinoff for Us.
I literally thought Jordan Peele. I'm like, Jordan Peele, you had it again. I had to get on IMDb.
Yeah, now I thought Us was cool, but I thought it was gonna be good as Get Out. But when I seen it, was like, all right, it was all right. It was
just had too many plot holes. It's like he just
it was bad, man.
Yeah, it's like
it was not good to me
without stopping.
Yeah. It was cool. I never went back to it. I go back to Get Out once in a while.
Yeah, not so many plot holes in Get Out, but Us, Jesus Christ, man. It's just like, but it's interesting. It kind of affected Jordan Peele, whereas if he's like, all right, man, I'm going behind the curtain, and now he's like, oh, I'm an executive producer, but an executive producer, they run the show for real, but now he gets to high. So now he got a different director for Candyman, take all the risk out of it, and then you don't have to come back. I got a good feeling about Candyman, though. I do.
See, but this is my problem. And y'all kind of touched on it already. I feel like Black creators are getting trapped. And when one thing works, that's all they get to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jordan Peele worked a long time on Get Out. I think he said that script took like 10 years. He was shopping it for so long. It never got picked up. He finally got a deal to do it, and he made the most out of it because that was just his passion project. He worked on it for so long. That's why the script is so good, and there's so many little things you don't pick up until you watch it again, because It was written to perfection, man. It took years to write that. Us, you could tell he wrote that shit probably in a year, probably less. But you could tell it was kind of, look, we need another horror movie, Jordan. This one did a whole lot for us. We need a new one next year.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was rushed. Yeah. And now Jordan Peele is basically the horror black movie guy who has to speak these racial messages into the horror movies now. Yeah. They put him on that awful reboot of the fucking Twilight Zone. Yeah. Like he has to be that guy. Maybe he wants to make a comedy. Maybe he wants to make an action movie. But now he can't because he's stuck because they know what he did before worked. Yeah. Same thing with these people doing these black trauma movies, man. Like once one works, now that's all you get to do.
Yeah. And, what was that? Damn, man. I'm gonna say that Antebellum. Jeez,
I've heard of that. Yeah.
I like Ryan, man. You know how to dodge some bullets, man. I get trapped every time. I'm like, I don't want to see this, but you know what? People gonna be talking about it, and I fall for this trap every time. Yeah, you don't have to see it. You don't have to see it. They tried to give us a new Harriet Tubman, man. That's what they tried to
do. We actually I think I talked about it, and you said it was similar to this one movie where a girl got. She ended up getting stuck in slavery or something, and it was like the modern day, and she was trying to find her way out.
That's it.
Yeah. Ryan said it was a movie similar to that came out. I forgot the name of it.
Okay,
but you said the movie they just ran out the field and it was like cars and shit. And
you're talking about M. Night Shyamalan, The Village.
The Village, yes.
I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, it was a movie where you think it's in old times and then they go outside and it's current day. Yeah, that was a terrible movie, man. Awful.
Yeah, so it was kind of similar to that. And after a while, you knew they was in current day, but they was trapped. But it was good looking at what's her name, Janelle Monáe.
You like her?
Yeah, I think she cute.
Okay, it's this show called Homecoming. Then check that out.
Homecoming. I heard of that. I think I heard of it. Okay.
Yeah, my guy Sam Ishmael from Mr. Robot is in there. The dude is incredible. You like Homecoming? Check that out.
All right, so I am curious about your opinion on this next movie, man.
All right,
it's been very divisive. I think it came out it was a big part of the Christopher Nolan. Very upset about this movie getting pushed back due to the pandemic. He did not want it to come to theaters. Well, he did want it to come to theaters, and WB was like, no, it's going to streaming. He demanded it get put in theaters. It bombed in theaters, but I think it did do well worldwide.
Yeah,
where lockdown was less over there. But Tenet, we got to talk about Tenet, man, because this is a very divisive movie. I want to hear what you think first before I let you know how I think. Man.
All right,
what do you think about the movie Tenet?
I don't know. So Tenet, you have that battle, right, where it's like masterclass filmmaking versus a weak script, and that's the battle that I'm always fighting with Tenet. So I'm a big Chris Nolan dude. I am a Chris Nolan fanatic. So it was like, and it's funny that you say that because Tenet was originally supposed to drop on my birthday, and I was like, I knew we were connected, and it turned out not to be. They pushed it back because of COVID, and of course it bombed in the height of COVID because I think it dropped in like the height of COVID. But when I seen it first, I was very disappointed, and I stopped my YouTube movie reviews, and thank God, because I didn't know what I was going to say about one of my favorite directors. But of course, the directing was flawless. Of course, that cinematography was flawless. And of course, the sound design was good, but it wasn't great, especially when you think about how good the sound design was in The Dark Knight. So whereas if now it's like, while they're explaining parts of the plot, but honestly, it was way too much explaining of the plot. And it was a point where, I'm going to tell you where the movie was like done for me. When she said, you don't have to understand it, just feel it. And I was like,
that was early in the movie too.
You just gave up on your script. you just gave up on your script. So it's just like, I knew then that it was just going to unravel, but you can tell that it was really good ideas. That scene where, he fought himself and it turned out, and he ended up, it ended up sinking and until them fighting each other because they were both going in reverse and forward at the same time. It was like, oh my God, like my mind was blown. But at the same time, you know, it was popcorn. You know, it was like, you know, it's good and hot, and then after a while it's stale and cold, and it's just like and now I'm back to the backdrop of this very confusing story. So I was just way too confused to really enjoy it. I was frustrated, I was flustered, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it again. And people were like, oh, Tenet is a different movie when you watch it again. I watched it again. I was like, okay, I understand it a little better, but I still don't like it. And to this day, I don't like it. And it's funny because when you say, you know, if you tell a casual, you know, say, hey, did you like that movie? Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't like the script. People check out. It's like, script. Like, what is he talking about? But it's literally the only problem I have with Tenet, because it was executed to perfection. But I just thought that it was just kind of like too incohesive. It just kind of didn't make sense. Too many questions when I walked out of that freaking theater. And yeah, I'm very disappointed in Tenet. I wish he didn't drop it, but he had a vision and he did it.
Yeah, I gotta agree, man. And I was looking forward to it too. I was a Chris Nolan fan for a while. I think he had been slipping. I wasn't a huge fan of his latest projects. I thought Interstellar I was looking forward to that movie a whole lot, but I didn't think it was that great. The ending, it was very disappointing to me, but it had great visuals. I like Matthew McConaughey's performance. I was like, okay, the acting saved it. I liked it fair enough. But I thought he had been slipping because his peak to me was Memento, The Prestige, and Dark Knight. Like, that was him to me at his best. But I felt like he had been slipping. But I was still looking forward to Tenet, man. I was looking forward to seeing what he was going to do with this unique idea. And like you, I was very disappointed, man. I was talking about going to the theater, risking COVID for it. I don't care if I get sick. Like, screw it, man. It's worth it. I got to see it in IMAX. I didn't see it in IMAX. I watched it at home. But I was so hyped for it, man. And when I watched it, I was like, what the fuck is going on, number one? Number two, this John David Washington, dog, what? You are Denzel's son, man. What's going on here, dog? Your acting is bad. It was just not good, man. The worst scene to me is when because he's basically supposed to be like some cool ass nigga James Bond. And I'm like, okay, but he goes to the back of the kitchen where they're about to beat him up, and his witty line is, I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. Who orders hot sauce? Like, who told him to say that line? It had to be him. I want to believe that Chris Nolan didn't write that in the script.
He didn't.
Who the fuck orders hot sauce? Oh, what the fuck is he talking about, man? And that's when I was like, okay, this dude, John David Washington, needs some work, man. I know he's in his 30s now. He's kind of up there, but he could not carry this movie. Robert Pattinson did a good job, I felt. He did a great job.
He's always good, man. He's always good. That Batman's going to be insane.
Is going to be that got the one good thing about this movie. It got me excited for the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Yeah, man.
Because I know he's going to be good.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, the plot, I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense because that's what triggers people. And they go to point to Reddit and all these YouTube videos that explain exactly what happened in the movie. Yeah. And they'll say, see, this does make perfect sense.
Yeah, they explain it in theory. In theory, they still don't know.
If I got to look at Reddit and YouTube to make sense of the plot, then it wasn't a good plot, man. I should be able to get the gist of it at the very least after one watch.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was disappointed, man. There was some weird stuff like no muzzle flash on the guns. Some of the action scenes were very odd. Nolan's losing it, I hate to say, because I love Nolan too, man. I was a big fan of his. I think he's slipping. I think he needs to take a break or something, find himself, and come back strong.
Go back to Batman. He's born to direct Batman.
Yeah, I would see The Dark Knight Rises was awful. So awful? I don't want him to. It was. That was a bad Batman movie. That movie was awful, man. Come on now. You like Dark Knight Rises?
So all of this descent with Gotham, and somebody finally wins. And Batman loses, and he has to come back, and that wasn't enough for you. That was empty.
Yes. I don't think Nolan really understood. But see, I'm a comic book nerd, and it gets me sometimes.
No, Nolan don't give a shit about the comic.
He doesn't. Batman wouldn't quit because his girl got killed. He wouldn't. For 8 years, this nigga just said, fuck it. He wouldn't quit because his girl got killed. He would go harder. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fight scenes. I didn't like, and I could talk all day about this damn movie, Dark Knight Rises. I saw the midnight opening after working the whole midnight shift, man. Like I went at 6 a.m. after working the overnight at Best Buy. I worked all fucking night, no sleep, went straight to the theater to watch this fucking 3-hour movie. And I was disappointed so much, man.
That's crazy. I was waiting to see Batman versus League of Shadows for so long. I liked it. That's crazy. So you thought it was terrible?
It was bad. Maybe if it wasn't for Batman and Robin, probably the worst Batman movie to me.
Wow. I definitely think it's the worst of the Dark Knight trilogy, but geez. All right. It was
bad, man. You can't have a Batman movie with barely no Batman in it. That's my biggest problem. Batman's barely in the movie.
Bane did a good job carrying that thing. You didn't like Bane.
With that weird ass voice that they clearly overdubbed because you couldn't hear him the first time. Like he had some quotables, I give you that. But nah, man.
You didn't like the ideology he represented.
It was okay, but it turned into I want to blow the whole thing up at the end. And it's like, okay, we've been here before. So
but that was despite Batman.
A tool. And then he wasn't even the main bad guy, and he got killed off screen by Catwoman. See, I'm getting off track.
I agree. That was a weird decision.
I'm getting off track. My bad.
But killed is that's questionable.
Yeah, questionable. My bad. I'm getting off track, man.
No, you're not. I thought it was interesting. I never heard like a complete like hell no on Dark Knight Rises. I like Dark Knight Rises though.
Man, nah. That Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it too much for basically nothing. I get that he had a crush on Joseph Gordon-Levitt because he was in Inception and he did a good job there. He did not need to be in this.
I think he always kill it.
Oh, my name is Robin, by the way.
Good dude.
Get it? Because I'm like Batman.
You make it sound so much cornier. They played it so much cooler in the movie. he was so much slicker than that. He's just like, it's Robin. Like, okay,
my name is Robin, by the way.
I knew that was Robin.
Fucking Robin Harris. He
was waiting. Robin. They gave him that character art the whole movie. Like, this dude's a hero, man.
Oh man. Here's my secret cape where you can become Batman with no training at all. Go ahead and knock yourself out, man.
The training might have came.
I could talk all day about that movie. I'm sorry, we're off track. Was there anything else we should bring up? Anything else you got on your list, man? We could talk about real quick.
I got a boatload of recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah, recommendations, and I was like, boo, 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 boo.
Let's do it.
For the people listening, that was my antennas. They was just they went off when he said that. So there's some incredible shows out right now. So I don't know how y'all feel about animations. Y'all into the cartoons?
Invincible. I already know you're gonna say Invincible.
Good. You beat me to Invincible.
I just watched that last night.
I know y'all probably messing with that Castlevania new season just dropped. Yep. Another thing. So earlier I talked about I said later on I'm gonna say some confusing stuff. So you talked about The Village, made by M. Night Shyamalan, one of the worst renowned directors in Hollywood. And this show that he got, Servant, it's like the best horrible show you could ever watch. If anybody wants something that's like creepy, but a little bit of frustrating, but a little bit addictive, because you just got to see what the hell is going on, get on Apple TV and check out Servant. Another thing, if you're going through kind of a withdrawal because The Boys is taking forever to come back out, you can go ahead and check out Jupiter's Legacy. It is not as dark as The Boys, but hey, if you like the Cape Crusader thing, Netflix got you on that. Also, I don't know if nobody seems to be into this. I don't know if it's just like a old white men kind of thing, but I still follow the Hannibal universe. CBS just dropped the show Clarice. It's creepy as hell. If you like that kind of stuff, if you like that show FBI, a lot of people like CBS, stuff like that. This is like a dark twist on that because it's in such a dark universe. That's highly recommended. And then we can switch over to the movie side. A lot of movies is dropping. A lot of movies is about to drop. It's a movie that a lot of people was kind of sleeping on. I didn't hear a lot of stuff about it, but Liam Neeson dropped this movie called The Marksman. Liam Neeson can drop trash. He can just drop some garbage, and nobody will ever know because he made Taken, and he's like everybody's favorite dad now. So nobody notices when he makes an average or bad movie. But this one was actually good. So if you get a chance to check out The Marksman, go ahead and do that. Then you got Guy Ritchie. I'm a big fan of Guy Ritchie. I don't know how people feel about him, but he got a new movie coming out with Jason Statham. And I know a lot of people is like, oh, Jason Statham, you know, because he's a little one-dimensional. But if you get a chance to check out Wrath of Man, go ahead and check it out. If you didn't get a chance to check out my boy Bob Odenkirk, so you got Better Call Saul, you got Breaking Bad that created this character, and you get to see just how good Bob Odenkirk is. But this time he tries to get way outside of the box and be an action hero, and in some scenes it actually works. So if you looking for something that's just gonna kind of surprise you and catch you off guard, that's definitely one. I'm not saying it's an Oscar contender. It's not the greatest movie I've seen, but hey, in 2021, we need action movies right now because, hey, what's the cheapest thing you can make? A horror movie. And that's all we getting. We're getting so much horror. So I'm glad that the action movies are starting to come back out. But if you want to do horror, you can go The Unholy. Zack Snyder, who just dropped the best apology movie I ever seen in the Snyder Cut. He's dropping Army of the Dead May 21st about some people robbing a bank in the middle of the zombie apocalypse, and I'm just like, what am I about to see? So if that's something that you want to check out, you got to check that out. Any of those Angelina Jolie fans, she might be finally over a heartbreak of Brad Pitt. She got a new movie dropping called Those Who Wish Me Dead. Man, she's coming back. She's coming back hard. She's coming back on that action. So she's coming out with Those Who Wish Me Dead, if that's what you want to check out. And then if you want to go to the indie scene, I just got one more recommendation. There's a movie that's creepy as hell, and it's a good chance that people don't like it, but you know what? I like divisive movies. So if y'all ever get a chance to check out Jacob's Wife, please check that out.
Okay.
It's weird as hell, but some people like weird. And those are just some of the movies that's on my mind. When you said that, I'm just like, okay, I gotta say this out loud. So, yeah, check them out, man. Check those out.
Okay, I like the recommendations. One more, since you mentioned action movies. I did see a trailer a couple days ago for a movie with Maggie Q and Sam Jackson. It's called The Protege. Apparently made by the same director who did John Wick. It's an action movie. Check out the trailer if you haven't. It's on YouTube. It's called The Protege.
That snuck by me. I don't know how.
It looked pretty cool, man. It's a cool looking. It looks very John Wickish. Very John Wickish. But it has a Maggie Q in it. So yeah, check that out, man. Check out the trailer. And you mentioned it, man. We didn't get your thoughts on the Snyder Cut. What did you think about that movie? I saw the first Justice League. I was disappointed. I didn't see the Snyder Cut because it's 4 hours, and I heard it wasn't.
The Snyder Cut.
It was 4 hours long, man.
If you went through the heartbreak of the 2.5 hour train wreck that was Justice League, you owe this to yourself. And if you remember any of the Justice League, it's even better. But if you want to talk about every problem you had with the Justice League, everyone being fixed, it's worth 4 hours. It doesn't feel like 4 hours. So you know something magical is happening if somebody can sit you down for 4 hours, and it doesn't feel like 4 hours because you are finally getting everything you asked for. And it's to the point where Zack Snyder, to this day, has still never seen Josh Whedon's version of Justice League. That's how much he didn't believe in his vision. Soon as the studios brought him in, he checked out because he had that different of a vision, and he was able to manifest that vision to perfection. I want to watch it again, but I admit I don't have another 4 hours. But one of these days, I want to sit down and I'm going to enjoy that thing again. But trust me, they fixed everything. They gave more screen time to villains that we really cared about, that we saw, kind of in the background. We knew they were around, but they never showed up. They spent more time on character arcs. They went belly up on the Flash and Cyborg's character arcs, made you kind of invest in them. Like, oh, they didn't get a movie where here's their little mini movies. So they gave you a chance to really invest fully, where the first one just ripped you off out of all of that. And then they took a lot of those action scenes that you got in the first one, they expanded on them. They made them way more, they made them make more sense. So if you haven't seen the Snyder Cut and you said you're a DC guy, right? Yeah. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. You're gonna thank us. You're gonna be like, okay, all right. I was sleeping because a part of you probably then was like, I'm not getting my heart broke again, and you're not about to take 4 hours to do it. I understand, but trust me, it's worth every minute, man. I really love Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League.
Okay, I'll watch it because you recommend it, but my main problem is I'm not a huge fan of Zack Snyder, and I feel like we could go to war about that. Batman vs. Superman was one of the worst movies I've seen in the theater.
I agree.
I thought that movie was awful.
Did you watch the director's cut of that?
I didn't. Yeah. But that I watched that was his movie. I watched it. No cut, no Joss Whedon coming in to change shit. That was all Zack Snyder, man.
So I'm gonna tell you something. Bad. Zack Snyder is a very long-winded director, and he comes out with his visions, and the studios is like, nah, like this ain't gonna work. You got to cut this. You need to cut that. So they always impede on his vision. So I'll just like straight up say it. Like a lot of times studios is holding Zack Snyder back. And you might think like, oh, do you really care about, the source material that you expanding upon? And he really does. But a lot of times the studios just step in. Warner Brothers can be extremely greedy, and they're just trying to maximize. And even with Justice League, they told him like, don't put Darkseid in there. Like you hold that for our sequels. And that's just not what a true director or writer wants to do ever. So I'm not mad at that though. I'm not the biggest Snyder guy, but I trust him with DC. I do.
Okay, I feel you. I do. And Figgy, I know you watch a lot of TV and movies too. I know you've been watching Godfather of Harlem. That's back on TV. You got any recommendations or things you've been watching that you want to recommend to the people?
Not really, man. Because I kind of been the only thing I will recommend is and this was recommended by Arian Foster, was Kingdom on Netflix. So it's pretty much like the Korean version of Walking Dead.
I recommended that too to you about a year ago, Fig.
Yeah. It's good, man. It's good.
Insanely good.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on. Why you remind me I ain't get that season 2 yet? No, I'm mad, man.
Yeah, it's good, man. Especially with me. I started off as a Walking Dead fan. Yeah. And the only reason I watched that, I watched a couple like the first couple seasons, and to me, it just took that show just took a turn because I thought it was going to give us an answer on why are these people turning into zombies, and they never did that. They just pushed them to the back, and there was a whole nother storyline. Mm-hmm. By that time, I was kind of stuck watching it because I wanted to see what happened. But this Kingdom to me is really good. It's hilarious watching these zombies run. They kind of run with their hands. They kind of run like this.
They run, however.
Yes, it's hilarious, but it's pretty good. My wife was enjoying it, and she usually don't watch shit like that. But I thought it was pretty good, man. Shout out to you and Arian Foster, because those are the only times I ever heard of that show.
How do you feel about Hollywood kind of trying to evolve the zombie? Like in the new zombie movie that I was talking about, Army of the Dead, there's zombies in there like actually doing like karate and shit. Do you think like, do you think it should always be that legacy zombie, that brains, or do you think that Hollywood is kind of making a mistake? Just kind of, you two, right? Like, are they trying to like overdo it? Just trying to like, how can we really make zombies more interesting? Because honestly, I don't care about the zombie genre, so I always appreciate any step they're trying to take to kind of move the genre forward.
The zombies genre, I feel like it's been overpopulated 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's gotten worse every year. Like, we get the fucking zombies, man. I think we've had enough movies and TV shows about zombies. Walking Dead been going on for, it seems like 20 years now. Yeah. Like, it's just never going to end, this zombie shit. Like, can we just think of something else? Like, can we just have a different disease and not be zombies?
We pay
Can
for
it just
zombies, man.
It's ridiculous. I would take the I Am Legend things over zombies at this point, man.
Okay.
Like, just do something else and don't call it zombies, because if you didn't like I Am Legend.
No, I Am Legend. That's just a soft spot for me with these vaccines, man. I got my first shot yesterday, and I've been my sleep was weird yesterday. I can't handle I Am Legend. That's a little realer. Like, it's a medical malpractice, huh? It's too realistic for me, man.
Will Smith gonna save him, man. He gonna be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the zombie genre, and I play video games too. So zombies in video games and movies have been played out for a while. Yeah, and people got to do something else, man. Let's brainstorm some other threat that can affect the people and not just be zombies eating people, because that's gotten played out, man. Yeah. It had a resurgence when the bath salt thing was going on, and like, hey, there's real zombies out here. That was years ago, man. We moved past that. So
we pay for those zombies, man. We pay for
them.
I don't know what it is about them. We pay for them.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it either. But I think it's because people, for whatever reason, I think especially white people too, they fantasize about that happening in real life.
Yeah.
They say, hey, I have a zombie. So I've met people with actual zombie survival kits. Like legit shit. Like they actually buy these things and like, hey, just in case something happens, I got an axe in here. I got some food and rations. I got medicine and a medical kit. I'm like, dog, you watch too many fucking movies. Ain't no zombie apocalypse gonna happen, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the zombie genre is just symbolic of viruses. I don't know why people, but we're kind of obsessed with viruses. A lot of people, they always think they're sick or got something, man. I seen a guy, man, when I was getting my vaccine, the dude just had this panic attack, and it's just like that's the news and the zombie stuff where a dude is just like, oh my God, what's in me? And he just loses it. And I think that's the same thing that draws to the theater, man. I think we just fascinated by it, man. It's amazing. And they'll never stop making these things, man.
Yeah.
They never
know what random movie was good? Well, it wasn't good, but the concept I thought was pretty interesting. This movie called Blindness came out years and years ago. Mm-hmm. It was about like people just started suddenly going blind, and the people who were already blind before this, they were starting to rule the world because they're already used to it.
Is it on? Is it on Apple?
It's called. It might be. It might be. It came out, I want to say like 10 years ago. It came out
10 years ago. Okay, well maybe old. Like a year ago. Jason Momoa. God. Aquaman, man. I can't say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out with a show called C, and everybody was blind.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen like 2 episodes of that.
Dude, I couldn't get past 2 either. I was just like, what? Like, it's just all I could do.
It's rough when my wife started talking about, how did they do that?
Yeah. Oh, she was seeing it.
Yeah. How did they get that whole setup, and how do they know where to do it? And I was just like, man, all right.
And that opening scene, I'm like, oh yeah, I got one. It was like 40 minutes later, like I'm I'm checked out. It's crazy when they just make you check out when like the premise just doesn't hold up. It can't.
All right. Well, look, man, it's been a whole lot of fun. Yeah. Like I said, we don't talk about this a whole lot because we talk a lot about music and sports and other things in the podcast, but we love movies and TV shows as well. So glad that we finally got this out of our system, man. Glad we finally got to break down some movies with a fellow movie lover, a fellow auteur, if you will.
Yeah, man.
A guy who's really into it. And we definitely gonna do this again, man. We probably gonna have a few other things come out. Then we're gonna have you on again, break it all down, because I had a lot of fun here, man.
Yeah, man, good. I'd love to be back. But wait, let me get in y'all wheelhouse for 1 second. Y'all listen to that new J. Cole yet?
Yes.
Is it the hype? I knew the hype would come. Is it the hype? That's what I
wanted. I will say this. I think it's his best project since 2014 Forest Hill.
Okay. That's what I was hoping for, because he was on a
that was his I think this is his best since then.
Okay. All right, I'll take that. I really love that album.
Yeah. I'll put it as this, because I'm not a J. Cole fan, really, but I try to give his music a fair listen. but it didn't make me a J. Cole fan. I'll put it like that.
I got you.
So it's not going to convert anybody who didn't already like him. But if you already liked him, I think you'll be happy with it. So,
okay. All right, I'm about to go out, man. I'm gonna play it on my way out.
Real quick, before we get you, I know you're a boxing guy.
Okay.
How you feel about the state of boxing, man? You got Floyd versus what's his name?
Logan Paul.
Well, it's a little depressing because what we're seeing is the death of boxing, because it's just no way that the sport is being carried by YouTube, and that's what it's come down to. For Mayweather to once again be the biggest draw when he doesn't even care about boxing anymore. He got his promotions, he got all his businesses, he's tutoring Conor McGregor, he's doing all these things. His love isn't in it anymore, and he had to come back to bring more eyes to the sport because of what these YouTubers are doing. The Pauls are brilliant. I'm respecting every step that they make, but at the same time, it's sad for boxing because you look at the pay-per-view buys, you look at Tyson and Roy Jones pay-per-view buys, and it's like people don't want to see boxing, they want to see a spectacle. And then you got people not talking about Canelo, just still in his prime, just still looking amazing. We're not talking about real boxers, and it's kind of heartbreaking to me. But good and damn well, what is Logan Paul? What is he gonna do with Mayweather? And then Tyson Fury's little brother, he's about to fight Jake Paul. So it's like, okay, now y'all starting to get in murky waters. Y'all about to fight fighters. Y'all about to fight somebody who could throw a hook to your body. And it's like, I seen you struggling with Ben Askren for about 10, 15 seconds. And now you're going to tell me that you can go against these world-class fighters. Like, you should have kept with the gimmick. So, nah, man, I'm not encouraged about what I'm seeing about boxing. But luckily, I am I don't know. I guess I'm a part of the death of boxing because I am a big UFC fan. So at least I got that. I got that to like get me through. But I really don't like to see the death of such a great sport that played such a big role in this country's history. But here we are, man. It's a sign of the times, man. Things are changing.
And as a fellow fight fan, but more of a UFC guy as well now, it's boxing's fault that boxing died. Yeah. Because the thing about the UFC, you can say what you want about Dana White, but they make the money fights and they make them pretty quick. Yeah. We don't have to wait for the biggest fights in the sport to happen. They will happen. Like Khabib versus Conor, that happened as soon as Conor got back in the UFC, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Like the money fights will always happen pretty soon. Whereas boxing, people dodge each other all the time. People don't want to take an L on the record. That's kind of Floyd's fault. A little bit, I feel, but people don't want to take an L or take any risk. So same thing about the thing that could have saved the sport was Joshua and what's his name? Deontay Wilder. We were looking forward for that fight for a long time, and it never happened, man.
Yeah, Joshua was so scared of him, and it's crazy. Yeah. He's such a better boxer, man. Wilder can't fight.
Yes.
But he's just so scared of that right hook, but I would be scared of it too. It's all he got, and he won. How many fights he went with that thing?
Good. Until he got destroyed by Tyson Fury twice. Yep.
Just somebody who can weave. That's all that it took for him to just be completely outclassed. And it's just crazy. So he's been working on his game. So we'll see, man. He's been practicing some combinations now. He got more than that, straight hook. He's trying to evolve, but we'll see. Because Deontay Wilder, he's important to the sport too. We need American champions. So hopefully he can bounce back. But I'm a big Tyson Fury fan. I think he's a complete fighter. And I'm excited to see him against Joshua because I'm actually an Anthony Joshua fan. I love me a technical boxer too. So that's all we have for boxing. That's all we have as far as star power. Bring back the heavyweight division. Get us some more loudmouth heavyweights. We need that for the sport. And but then you go to UFC and you got people like Francis Ngannou, a monster who you have to pay to see. And then you got Derek Lewis, a monster who you love to pay to see. And then you got two dudes who are terrified to punch each other clean in the face. It's like, it's like, I know good and damn well UFC is going to take over. It just has to happen because no matter how good boxing gets, UFC can match it. Even this Saturday, colossal fight. So, y'all got me thinking about boxing because
that's all good, man.
I have to argue about this too, man. Because The sport's in trouble, but hey, it's going out on a high note, man. I think Anthony Joshua, he's probably gonna retire soon.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who's gonna pick it up after that, but hey,
need something, man. Because it's a rough. But UFC, I hope this crossover sport stuff ends soon too. I'm tired of seeing these MMA people in these boxing matches.
Forget about that. Nick Diaz is training Tyson Fury as
I saw that.
So that's just starting. That's just starting. And I get it. Like, that could save boxing. If they come in beating up MMA fighters, but that's not gonna happen. But they get to get you on the ground. Come on, man. They've been doing this their whole life, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm going to the gym for a month. Like, come on, man. They're gonna take him out. It's cool.
Yeah, that's why Floyd was smart. He knew not to get in that octagon.
He's not getting in that octagon. I remember when CM Punk got in the octagon. I'm
yes.
Like,
oh my God.
What are you
doing?
God.
UFC almost died for me there. They put him on the main fucking card, man.
They did
twice, I think. They did. In Chicago.
Yeah, and in Cleveland. He was here too.
Oh man,
that's crazy.
Bad, awful. Luckily, that era ended pretty quickly. So.
Pretty quick, Dana White couldn't do that to him again. He couldn't do that to UFC again, man. He couldn't do it.
Nah, Dana had enough. He was like, at that last fight, he fought a nigga named Michael Jackson. By the way. So we can talk about fight shit all day, man.
Let's go turn into a whole other podcast.
But appreciate you joining with us, man. Do you have anything you want to plug? You said you had a YouTube channel. I recommend you get that back up and just shit on everything, because those are the most popular channels right now in terms of movie reviews, people who hate everything. So I think you should get on and talk shit about Nolan.
Yeah, the only thing that was stopping me is just like I was doing the marketing by myself. That's really the hardest part. I enjoyed the production, but I'm going to be starting my production company, launching in August. It's Synergy Productions, and you'll see me doing a lot of stuff, working with a lot of companies, putting together promotional reels, stuff like that. Just anything visual. That's really what I like. When I go to movies, I like cinematography. I really think everybody is fascinated by the eye. It's what motivates me. So that's what I'm doing. But as far as the YouTube thing, man, I think about it. I miss it all the time. Sometimes I leave it there and I'm just like, oh, I could do it so easily, I get it all the time.
I tell you all the time, man, bring that podcast. But I was listening to that podcast, man. I was getting a lot of good shows to watch.
Yeah, I'm thinking about bringing it back. I might just do it on a monthly basis, but I miss it so much. And then after I see something, I'm like, I just gotta say it. After Mortal Kombat, I got on Facebook Live, and that's the first sign that it's like, okay, you really craving that format. So, or that platform. So, definitely, it could be in the works. I don't know. I can't say that it's not happening because I've been thinking about it, planning some stuff, putting stuff to the side. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Fig, because it's hard when people are like, hey, I listened to it. How you say you ain't like that? It's like,
we go through that a lot too.
That's the engagement you need, though, man. Especially reviewing movies.
Yeah,
you need that.
Movies. Ryan is I don't want to say a Eminem hater, but he kind of just like Eminem, and so we got like a diehard Eminem fan listener.
We might have did the wrong podcast, because now that I see how he debate after he went in on Dark Knight Rises, I gotta be a little strategic with him. He coming for the GOAT.
Nah. Wait a minute. What? The GOAT. The GOAT.
Who you about to bring up?
Of making songs about Venom? Maybe.
Whoa.
Are you talking about the GOAT of rap? The GOAT of acting with 8 Mile? I'll even take that over the GOAT of rap. Wait a minute, man. That's all.
Hey guys, it's been fun.
You almost triggered me there, man.
I knew what I was doing. I was like, oh, you gonna talk about Dark Knight Rises?
To be continued.
Yeah, for sure. This is a must do again, man. You guys are awesome, man.
We definitely gonna do it again, man. Let us know when you get that cooking up. We definitely gonna support, and we gonna have you on again, man. We gonna watch a whole lot of shit. We gonna check out your recommendations, and we gonna bring it back probably closer to maybe in a few months, man. We'll do it again and run it back and see how it goes. So,
all right, man.
His name is Terrell Bilal. Are you related to Bilal or the singer?
Nah, man, but I should just start saying that, you know, start.
You should, man. Be like, that's my cousin.
Yeah, that's what I need to start But yeah, no relation. But hey,
all right.
maybe it's some stuff I don't know. Let's see. We'll see.
All right, Terrell. Well, appreciate you joining us, man. We're gonna do it again. Good discussion. Check out his recommendations. And like I said, we're gonna do it again, man. So take care, stay up, be blessed.
All right, man. Same to y'all. Appreciate it. Thank you.